Hey guys, Keon here from the Rocket Hideout, and today I'm going to be going over the top 10 best shiny Pokemon that you can get in Generation 3. That means Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, including the Coliseum games. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Number 10. Number 10 on this list is Dusttalk. Dusttalk has to be one of the coolest shinies in Gen 3. I really love bugs, and I love Dusttalk, so having a shiny variant with darker colors is badass. The color palette is pretty interesting because it kind of makes Dusttalk look more like a moth instead of a giant moth monster, kind of like Mothra. The wings are cool, and its patterns on its body and wings are sick too. It's one of the shinies I hard hunt because of how much I love it. It may not be the strongest Gen 3 Pokemon out there or on this list, but it's one of the coolest to have, especially if you're not worried about playing competitive. It's a good mon, and owns the number 10 spot on this list. Number 9. Ludicolo has the coolest shiny for a water type. Instead of purple or another color that's swapped out, they decided to go with a more vibrant approach by having a darker forest green for its skin and this darker orangish yellow color for its poncho. It's one of my favorite Pokemon due to fighting Mirror B from Pokemon Coliseum so much, and ever since then it's been a staple in my team, my brother's team, competitive teams, and also my personal lists for Pokemon. I remember finding shiny Lotad for the first time in Oros and evolving it all the way to a Ludicolo, and honestly, Ludicolo is just insane. It's awesome. It has the coolest shiny for a water type, and I'm happy to add it to the Gen 3 list. It's a Pokemon that should be hunted a lot, I feel like, because it's just so iconic, and that's due to Mirror B, really. Number 8. For number 8, we actually have a fan favorite, and that's shiny Gardevoir. With the introduction of Wally in Hoenn, we help him catch a Ralts for the first time, and on occasion, if you're shiny hunting, you can also help get Wally a shiny as well. But since then, everyone really loved the Gardevoir evolutionary line. I'd argue that Gardevoir is one of the more iconic mons within the franchise when you compare them together to something like Pikachu or Charizard, which are a little bit more known because they're poster boys. But, for example, Gardevoir is on the same level as a starter in terms of popularity, and now add some cool shiny variants and you have a really good Pokemon. Instead of the green color on Gardevoir, it switches all its green color for this light blue color that makes it really pop off. Its design is really simple, yet really pretty, and the color palette is so good. Ralts is not only a pretty hard shiny to find, but it's so worth it. The reward, I think, matches the time invested into trying to find it, especially if you're playing an old Gen 3 game. I really love this Pokemon, and I know it's one of the many few Pokemons that I'd consider fan favorites within the Pokemon community, and that's why I'm also adding it to this list. Fan favorite, cool shiny, cool mon. Number 7. Delcatty is the 7th Pokemon on this list. I so adore this Pokemon, and it's one of my main mons that I like using in VGC and other teams. The color is a smooth purple, and for its shiny variant, it actually goes back to its old evolution color, pink. So it has this nice, opaque, hot pink color, and it just looks way too good. Like, the hue saturation is so balanced, and it's not too bright. On top of that, who doesn't like a pink shiny Pokemon? I love pink shiny Pokemon. I think that pink shinies are so good, and it's kind of rare since I don't really see that many pink shinies when I'm hunting anyways. So overall, its color swap is so clean, and I'm glad to be adding this mon to the list, and I'm glad that it keeps somewhat of the same thematic as Skitty. Number 6. Magnetrik is arguably one of the best black shiny Gen 3 Pokemons out there. With the contrast of the yellow from its lightning bolt to its fur, which is straight black, it forms this bee-like color palette of black and yellow. Kind of like that Wiz Khalifa song. Black and yellow, black and yellow. It really fits well, and it looks good on this Pokemon. Its previous evolution, Electrike, is blue and yellow, so having a darker color palette is always a go-to for me because of how light-sensitive I am. Bright colors hurts my eyes, so I like stuff that are darker. I dislike bright shinies, and Magnetrik is a perfect balance because it's a lot darker. In my opinion, I believe that Magnetrik is a go-to shiny hunt. The mod isn't bad, plus it has a Mega Evolution, and that seems even cooler when it comes to the shiny variant. Magnetrik pretty much is one of the coolest Gen 3 Pokemons I've seen in a long time. And I remember my adventures going through Hoenn. It's a classic mon that I always have, and it definitely deserves to be on your shiny list and on mine. Number 5. The number 5 spot, we have Sharpedo. Who doesn't like a purple shark? Sharpedo is really popular and one of the premier water types in this generation, not counting Melodic or even Gyarados. Sharpedo is not only strong, but has a really unique concept with having no tail and an eye that can move pretty far back, and is the only shark Pokemon out there to my knowledge. Its shiny variant has this grape-like hue. It's almost kind of bright in an odd way, but it's still really pimpin' shiny Pokemon with it being a half shark and not having a full tail. Kind of reminds you of a bullet. And when you change its normal blues to a pinkish purple, you know that you stumbled upon a pretty cool looking fish Pokemon. Every water type I see has this color. For some people, they don't vibe with it, but for me, I really fuck with it heavy, and I think it should be on everyone's list to hunt for Gen 3. Hoenn is a pretty big place, and finding one to use, especially in the Battle Frontier, on top of it being shiny, would be pretty godlike and awesome as fuck. And that's why I'm adding Champito onto the number 5 spot on this list. Number 4. Number 4 on this Gen 3 shiny list is Cacturn. Even though Cacturn is weak due to its grass and dark typing, it's not a good competitive Pokemon due to its weakness to ×4 bug. But even though it's not that good, I'm adding it to the list because it has a really cool design and the shiny variant is pretty dope as well. Cacturn's shiny color palette makes it look like an older cactus, kind of one that's grown old with a more yellowish orange tint or color to its main body with a brick red color for its spikes and leaves. This version of Cacturn sports a more scarecrow approach while retaining its cactus and desert-like attributes. It's a really cool Pokemon to have for any team or collection. Back in Gen 3 and the RSE games, you can find Cacturn in Route 111. What's cool is that this evolutionary line still keeps its color palette throughout its evolution, making this hunt worth doing. Number 3. Claydal has to be one of my favorite minimalistic shinies on this list, and probably any list here, I have to say. I don't like a lot of shiny Pokemon that have minimal changes, for example Leafeon, but I'd say Claydal pulls this off perfectly. It resembles a Claydol, and its pre-evolution is a top. Claydal's shiny version changes its red clay eyes to yellow, and for Baltoy, its whole body changes to a similar yellow with blue markings instead of red. For me, I think this shiny mon looks so beautiful, a piece of art, the creme de la creme, and its typing is so good. I say this is a shiny hunt that will probably take you a hot minute to do depending on your method of hunting, but the rewards are so good. Claydal is a must-have shiny in my opinion and worth it, and that's why it comes into the number 3 spot. Number 2. Back in Hoenn, nothing excited me more than seeing a shiny Dusclops. This shiny Pokemon comes at the number 2 spot, and I think it's really underrated. Dusclops and Duskull back then were the coolest Pokemons I've seen when watching the anime or playing the game with other people at the library and such. And if you had a shiny Duskull or Dusclops, you were pretty cool, and I'd say that goes for any shiny really, because back then not a lot of people had shiny Pokemon or even knew what a shiny was. But looking back at that, I do think it's one of the coolest things I've seen. Same with Duskull, it has the same color. It's just such a good shiny, and I rarely see it, so for me, it's super rare, and I want to see it. This is also why I put it onto the list, because honestly, it's super good shiny ghost type, and a fun hunt to do, to be honest. And in RSE Mount Pyres, we're going to be finding these Pokemon if you do decide to hunt them, so good luck. Number 1. Number 1 on this list is Metagross. There's so many shinies to choose from, but I decided to go with Metagross. I think that a silver, almost white Metagross with gold instead of blue for its eggs and claws are sick. And also, let me tell ya, I had a hard time picking number 1 because of mons like Rayquaza or even Salamence for this list. But I think that Metagross is the best shiny for a Gen 3 shiny list. It's sleek and cool looking. Metagross is strong, so it's not just the visual aesthetics, you can actually put this on a team. It's just the go-to for a doubles team or even a badge quest team. I believe you get a Beldum from Steven after you beat him in the league, and at his house he leaves you a Beldum that you can keep. If you have the patience, you can soft reset for a shiny Beldum fairly easy. It's kind of boring, but damn, it is a free shiny, and a good one too. And that's why it comes in at the number 1 spot on this list. It is just fucking, so beautiful. And if you like this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and turn the bell icon for more videos that I post. And if you agree with this video or disagree or have any opinions, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Also, let me know what video I should do next and what your favorite shiny Pokemon is, because I really want to know. This is Keon of the Rocket Hideout, signing out.